So, did Samurai Jack ever get back to the past? Did he ever defeat a coup? For many years, it seemed that the story of Samurai Jack was dead, and that those questions would never be answered. Fast forward to 2017 though, and a strange thing happened. Adult Swim, Cartoon Network's more mature nighttime alter ego, aired a 5th and final season that promised to not only be more mature in content, but bring the story of Samurai Jack to a close. With this final season having finally finished airing not too long ago, I wish to take the time to discuss not only the change to a more mature tone, but review the season as a whole. But first, well, you all know I'm a sucker for history lessons. Created by Gandhi Tartakovsky, let's hope I'm not super butchering that, as a follow-up to Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack was probably one of Cartoon Network's most unique and risky shows during its original airing. Sure, the story seemed simple enough. We have our hero, a samurai nicknamed Jack, who is thrust into the future by the evil demon Aku. Along the way, he goes through various adventures, defeating bad guys and protecting innocents as he tries to accomplish his main goal, defeat Aku and get back to the past from which he came. However, despite being technically a kids show, it was quite a cerebral work of art. I mean, the show prided itself on minimal dialogue, a dystopian future setting, mature themes, and paid homage to all sorts of classic Hollywood cinema with its fighting choreography, visuals, and cinematography. You would think that something so ambitious would fail, but hey, the show made it work and won several awards during its run, as well as the praise of many die-hard fans. However, after 4 seasons and a total of 52 episodes, the series came to an abrupt halt on September 24th, 2004, disappointing many. Even more disappointing was the fact that the last episode was an episode like any other and didn't bring any form of closure to the story of the wandering swordsman. Jump ahead 13 years and we now have the 5th season. That of course raises a couple of questions like, what is this new show like? As well as, is it worth watching? In regards to the first question, the new season is interesting as it is different yet familiar. On the one hand, the show is different in that it now follows a more serialized format, meaning continuity in episodes versus each episode being its own thing, and covers more mature content such as murder, depression, suicide, and the occasional adult joke. And yet, it never feels like the people running the show go crazy with the newfound freedom given to them by being on Adult Swim. Sure, they could probably have made the show super gory with Jack cutting people down left and right and whatever else, but they didn't. Instead, they basically kept the already very mature for its network show that they had and just amped it up a bit. Though the series now includes blood and focuses on stuff like Jack being haunted by his failures, to the point of deep depression and contemplating suicide, it all feels like natural progression. It's not a show trying to be edgy or hardcore to pull in a new crowd. It's a show that knows that the people who first watched it have grown up and adapts accordingly. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that the show knows I have seen the hero's journey countless times and tries to add something new by asking what happens when the journey becomes stagnant and focusing on the psychology of the character. But don't worry though. The show isn't only introspective, and there's still plenty of cool action sequences too. Case in point, when Jack gets serious and fights back against the daughters of Aku, it's one of the most badass things ever. Won't spoil it here, but look it up to see Jack in his primal beast form. So yeah, if you ask me what the show is like now, the best way to describe it is that it's the same, but different. It is still very much the show it was before, but cranked up to a new level for the people who grew up with it. That brings us to the other question at hand, which is if it is worth watching. Of course, that is a question that is more difficult to answer. On the one hand, I think that anyone who grew up with the show will be beyond excited to see the show return. Heck, I think that even people who have not seen the show before will get caught up in the hype and want to watch it. And I do feel that people will enjoy the more mature content that I've discussed, as well as how it is handled. On the other hand though, I have seen many people say that the season felt a bit rushed. I can understand where people are coming from. I mean, while every other season of the show has had 13 episodes, this one has only 10, shorter than any other. Not only that, but it felt like a little too much time was spent on things that weren't exactly central to the plot, thereby wasting an already limited time frame. Another thing that rubbed people the wrong way was the main romance. Whether because people felt that Jack should be some asexual monk, or that the romance was unneeded and shoehorned in, this could ruin the show for viewers. And finally, we have the ending. Being called everything from a deus ex machina, to confusing, to nonsensical, to too depressing, many are split on how the show ends. I won't say what happens, but let me just say it involves hidden powers and a wedding that reminds me of the one from my favorite mecha anime. So yeah, kind of a mixed bag, and it is of course up to anyone watching this to take in what I have said and decide for themselves whether they want to give Season 5 of Samurai Jack a shot. All I can say is despite all these things that can be seen as flaws, I personally enjoyed the season very much. For me, it was quite interesting to see how they revived the show with a bump up in mature content, and I appreciate the closure of seeing the story come to an end. Not only that, but I even appreciate that the ending was quite unconventional by Western entertainment standards, instead reminding me of what you might get from an anime series. All in all, I would recommend this to anyone. But hey, that's just my opinion. And remember, don't take anything I say too seriously. After all, I'm just a wannabe reviewer. Thanks for watching. Hello, once again, to the line at the end of the video, where I take the time to thank you for watching my content, as well as ask you to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that feedback, as any feedback is greatly appreciated. As always, there is social media you can follow me on, and hey, if you enjoy the art on my channel, it's all thanks to Broken X Note, whose information I will leave in the description below in case you want to contact them. Near the end of my video, you'll see other things I've done pop up, so hey, why not give them a look? Until next time, this has been Wannabe Reviewer, and I hope to jump down the media rabbit hole with you all again soon.
Watch me.